What's cookin'? This week we will be making Grand's Unsloppy Joes. You will need a nonstick pan, 1 pound of ground beef, a cooking pan for your beef, a measuring spoon, a can opener, and a spatula, shredded cheddar cheese, chili powder, a can of Manwich original sauce, and 1 container of the Grand's biscuits.
Hi, welcome back students to What's Cooking. This week we are going to be making Grand's Unsloppy Joes. Yum. What we will be using is some Manwich can sauce, some chili powder, some Grand's biscuits. We will be using some shredded cheddar cheese, a teaspoon measure, a spatula, a can opener, a non-stick pan, and then we will be making our hamburger in this. What you're going to start with is start with your 1 pound of ground hamburger and put it into your pan. We're going to put it on the stove top, get that cooked up, and after it gets cooked up, then we'll take a look and see what we do next. Our ground beef is cooking on the stove top. And you can see over to the right hand side, I have my spatula, and I've gotten out a plate to put my spatula on because it's got some of that raw meat residue on it, and I don't want to put that directly onto the countertop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that top right back onto my pan so it doesn't splatter all over. I have my ground beef on the stove top right now, and as you can see, it is very hot and bubbling. You need to be very careful with the hot stove top. But this is also, I didn't get a lean ground beef this time. So this one has got a lot of fat that's coming out of it and water. And what I'm gonna have to do after I see all the meat is fully cooked, no more pink spots, I am going to go and take it and put it into a metal colander and get all of that out of it. And remember to use metal with something hot. You don't want to use a plastic because that will melt it. Hi students, we have ground up our hamburger, and then we're going to come over and notice that I did put a hot plate on the countertop here. We are going to open our can of Manwich sauce. Now it's 1 pound of ground beef. There's my oven telling me it's ready to take our Unsloppy Joes to be cooked. It got up to its temperature. This is the Manwich sauce. And I am going to add this to the cooked hamburger. Be very careful with the sharp tops. And again, before I started all of this, I did wash my hands again. Got some sauce on my fingers. And what I've got here, I actually made 2 pounds of ground beef. So I'm going to use 2 cans of Manwich. And what this is going to do for me is I'm going to just make 1 can of the Grands today. The rest of this ground beef mixture that I'm making with the Manwich is going to go into a freezer bag and into the freezer. So down the road when we want to make these again, all I have to do is pull it out of the freezer, defrost it, and then it's good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Manwich sauces in here. And remember, I strained my beef because I didn't buy the low fat one, so it had a lot of fat and water that I had to get out of it. And then we're going to be taking our teaspoon measuring and 1 teaspoon. And since I'm doubling this, I've got to put 2 in here. Just gives it a little more flavor, doesn't really make it spicy. And what you're gonna do is we're gonna get this all stirred in really well. And then we put it back on our stove top for 5 minutes of a simmer, which means it's just a little bit bubbly, not over boiling it, to heat it through. And then after it is heated through, we'll bring it back and then we'll go through the next steps. Okay, we're back. I'm gonna quick, but not too quick, wash my hands. Got my clean towel that I'm going to dry with, and I'm going to come over to my stovetop. Now my ground beef with my chili powder and my manwich sauce has been on there for about 5 minutes. I'm going to bring it back over. Okay, next we are going to open our flaky Gran biscuits, and I turned off my stovetop. Always remember to do that when you're not using it. Gonna open this up, and when you peel where it says to peel and it doesn't open, you've got to find the little line with the arrow on it and just push down. You hear that pop? It always makes a pop. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab the biscuits out of here. Okay, and this one's got 8. This pan that I had here, I was thinking it was going to be 6. It's not going to be big enough, so I'm just going to come and get a bigger one. No problem. Okay, and I'm going to divide these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is what they're going to look like. What you need to do is take it in your hands and kind of squeeze out. Keep squeezing and stretching till you get about a 6-inch round flat. Does it have to be perfectly round? No. I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna take another one. And if you want, you can use a clean countertop or use a clean mat, and you can push down and spread it out that way. If you want to use a roller, you can do that too. For me, it's just as easy to use my hands. So I'm using my hands. I'm going to do 4 here. Now hold this one up so you can kind of see. Like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. And once you pick it up, if you're doing it on your countertop, it's going to shrink back down a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is take a spoon, and I'm going to put right in the middle a dollop of your Sloppy Joe mixture. Okay. And then you're going to take a tablespoon measuring, or thereabouts. That's what a tablespoon would be like, but you're just as fine to use a pinch. Put it on top. And again, if you don't like cheese, you don't have to use it. We're using cheddar cheese. If you'd like a white cheese or mozzarella, a spicy cheese, that would be fine too. And what I'm going to do is take one end, fold it up and over, and I'm going to pinch it so that it looks like a crescent moon. And when I'm done with this, I will show you what the full cookie sheet looks like, so you can kind of see what the shape is. And you press them together because you don't want this leaking out, right? Just like we had the English muffin pizzas, This would be like another terrific thing you could make on a Friday night for mom or dad when they get home from work. Make dinner for the night. And again, these do not have to look perfect. That's okay. And then I'll go through, I'll spread out the rest of these, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, we're back, and I have got my Sloppy Joe mixture, my cheese inside of my biscuits. I have made them into crescent moons. As you can see, they are not all perfect, but that's okay. They're all gonna taste wonderful. You put them in your oven at 375 for 9 to 14 minutes. And again, moms and dads might need to be able to help you with going into your hot oven, okay? I'm gonna set my timer for 9 minutes just so I can take a look and make sure they're not getting burned. And when that goes off, we'll take a look. Okay, my timer just went off. So I'm gonna grab my hot pads, I'm gonna go to the oven, take a peek, and I think they are done. They started to get golden brown on the top. Mine took about 10 minutes in there, but everybody's oven is a little bit different. Using your hot pads, I'm gonna bring them over, and I'm gonna put a couple of them on a plate so you can kind of see what they look like. And this is what the Grand Unsloppy Joes look like when you're finished. And remember, when you first take them out, they're gonna be very hot, so you're gonna have to wait for them to cool down. The next recipe that we'll be showing you what to do is slushy magic. We'll be back in a minute.